no case on this one because I can. But also, I just don't know if this is gonna be like the last video, just because some things are unfolding in a couple comment sections, and so there may be more conversations about the Amanda Seales Jubilee podcast in the future. But as it stands right now, I just wanted to pop out and talk about the Amanda Seales Jubilee situation. Noe, I hope you're doing well. But yeah, I feel like the internet is ablaze, is it not? Everybody talking about Amanda. Oh my God, Jordan and Nene. Damn, everybody came out. Oh shit. Hey, what up, Sydney? I'm doing my motherfucking best. I'm about to do a little twist out. Yeah, some of the water just fell into the camera. I know that shit probably look crazy, but we're here. Anyways, but like I was saying, this Amanda Seales combo. I want to start off and just say straight up, I don't like Amanda Seales, and it really isn't personal. Me and her have never spoken. I don't know her like that. But just the way she's operated the last few years online, and just some of my faves being harassed by her. Like, she actually had Maya's World attacked just because she did not feel like engaging, and instead of just holding that she didn't like what was said and making a formal video, she just decided to say something to Maya and then let her people know that she's coming for Maya because Maya was coming for her. Meanwhile, Maya never came for her. Maya was asking questions. You know what, Jordan? That's the thing. Go, 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 girl. Hey, baby, Marie, what up? Listen, this might only be one part of it because, as I said, there's a person on YouTube, or excuse me, on Instagram named Digital Stem Cell. They're a really interesting creator. I really love their work. They are a deeper dark skin brown person who talks about being autistic and talks about the home life, like being black and autistic, growing up, and just again the things that happen that you're seemingly not supposed to speak about. And again, it's the ways that the commentary from Digital Stem Cell has really offered me so much, and I'm hella grateful. But one thing I did want to uplift is that, they made a video about Amanda Seales today, and the video was very much one where they were being very objective. They were saying things like, Amanda Seales was educating. There was no debate. These people didn't have the range to talk to Amanda. And that's really what I see around the internet is people saying that Amanda was given, just some little puppies to attack as a full-grown pit bull. And people were just really noting that she should not have been in that room. All the while, there were people in the comments saying this is the perfect room for her to be in. And it really made me think about Julesie's video. I shared it in my community post because I really do appreciate Julesie. I don't watch all her content. I'm not subscribed to her in any real way other than on YouTube for free. But I do appreciate this critique of Amanda just because when us lighter skinned people talk about each other, people do tend to listen in a way that they don't listen to deep dark skinned people when they talk about us. And so I know some people may think that it's weird for a light skinned person to talk about just other light skinned people, fellow rather light skinned people. But I want you to hold that, like, when a deep dark skinned person is doing something problematic, it's very rare that there's any politic us lighter skinned people have about not speaking on this person and their lens and how we don't have the range. Like, that doesn't come into mind. So I just want to hold that there's just this energy of, oh wow, like even light skinned people are seeing it. It's fucked up to say it like that, but that's what I believe is happening. People are like, damn, these light skinned people are so fucked up that other light skinned people can see it. When I think what's unfortunate is, like, we wouldn't, I don't even want to say we're seeing it. It's more that, like, we're uplifting it because we're hearing from deep dark skin people who are hearing it and seeing it as well. And so I want to hold that I don't think for 1 minute that like anything I'm saying is new information, is something that I should capitalize off of. Not at all. In fact, what I'm trying to do is acknowledge that, Julesie's video, in my humblest opinion, was a video that really gave me so much because it made me notice like how when us lighter skinned people are calling each other in, how we can be how we can behave, if that makes sense. And so I feel like Julesie's video was refreshing because it felt like a way to communicate to somebody in our group that wasn't like, oh, damn, like you're down bad. It was more like, hey, like let's get these receipts together. Let's put some things side by side. And I really appreciated how Julesie created that work because, again, like me talking about Amanda, I already know some people are going to think I'm jealous or think that I wish it was me or some weird shit like that. Even though if you look at my internet presence the last few years, it's very clear I'm not interested in going on a fucking panel. Like someone asked me to be a part of a panel and then it didn't work out. But again, I feel like it didn't work out because I don't have a firm stance on anything. I have a lot of like nuance in what I say. And some people really only invite you places when they want a certain perspective to be pushed. So that's what I'm also trying to get at is that it's clear to me watching Amanda that like they wanted to find a black person with the right black person ideas. And I want to let that excuse me. I want to let that just simmer for a second because when you watch the Jubilee thing, it's so obvious that they went out of their way to find black people with ideas about blackness, white supremacy, colonization. Like it's very clear, like they went out of their way to find black people with certain views. And I want to hold this. I don't believe for a minute that any black person should have any certain type of way of thinking at all. I'm at a point in decolonization where I find it strange to assume anyone is going to be any kind of fucking way or think any kind of fucking way. There are so many people out here that have ideas or thoughts that I'm surprised by, but then I have to hold that my surprise, unfortunately, is part of white supremacy. The idea that I think I know how someone's gonna be or think because of how they look is insane. But putting up a light-skinned person who has recent admixture, and I'm putting that out there because so many people are fighting with me about Amanda being black, and it's awkward as fuck because here's the thing. Amanda is like me in that we are definitely recently admixed people who were told we were black. That is that on fucking that. Her mother's experience is as a mixed Caribbean woman. That's okay. We should not play this game because, again, it's the ways that Amanda, like, unfortunately, if you watch Julesie's video, Amanda has absolutely decided to be the light-skinned person who's mixed, who has recent Caribbean admixture, who is deciding that like she's going to fight for light-skinned people in our respect. It is very weird. And that is a big reason why I came here, honestly. I care about all the critiques I'm making, but this one is the most important one because unfortunately, just like Donald Trump is a hero to some real nasty white people, there are a lot of us nasty ass mixed light-skinned people who are living in this country and will benefit from anti-blackness and will turn the fuck around and use rhetoric that we can only know from listening to black people and pimp that shit out. And that is what I'm seeing with her. She absolutely was paid to go on fucking Jubilee and talk to these fucking people. And I refuse to believe that these people were paid much in relation to her. And this is reminding me of when Julesie brought up the smart, funny, and black. Do y'all know that she put on a tour with multiple black people and never paid any of them? I bet y'all didn't fucking know that. I bet y'all fucking didn't know all the prices, all the tickets for Smart, Funny, and Black. All that money went to her in the fucking venue. I bet you didn't know that. I also bet you didn't know that she has a fucking beef with Samaria Rice, Tamir Rice's mother. I know y'all don't fucking know about that. So with that being said, in the same ways that I'm sure I've been an annoying ass light skinned person and harmful and violent. And I'm sure there's all types of receipts on me that only live in like buried ass fucking pages of blogs. I'm sure of that. I'm sure I've said things and been operating in bad faith. And I don't want to make it seem like y'all shouldn't look at me crazy either. I'm trying to offer that I see her because I see me. I see the ways that like Black women have been trying to decenter from our representation and us being put in the front of anything calling something Black. Like, please, I'm naming this because I'm hoping people can see that this is not entertainment. This is another moment where people are pushing who is Black, who is a Black person worth listening to. And we already have heard from Amanda for so long. She said a lot already. And she's not really atoning for the ways she knows she's caused harm. She's still moving in bad faith, even taking on this Jubilee check. This was bad faith because what it does is it says, hey, there's some Black people that ain't thinking right, that don't have the right Black people opinion. Let's bully them. That is not where the fuck we need to be as mixed people, but especially as non-Black people. If we have more seemingly information, it's because we've been privileged. That's the only reason why some information that I share, I have access to. I have privilege. It is not because I'm special. It's not because I'm doing anything worth more than anyone Black. It is simply because of privilege, which is why I am absolutely I'm attempting to offer my candid thoughts as a privileged person, as someone who has absolutely had no idea and is still unlearning the ways I am harming. I am not at all trying to posture above Amanda. That is my sister, okay? That's my sibling. That is why I'm speaking like this, because she is operating very, very manipulatively. It's very manipulative how she's operating, and it's unfortunate because I see people coming out and fighting for her in this way, like they couldn't wait for her to come back. And it's like, come back to do what? And the way that people are so excited about her yelling at these Black folks who, again, they're just not decolonized to the point that she is. I just hope we can see that she really was up there doing something that most people at this point have decided we don't like. It's obvious by the lack of opportunities she's had recently that we're not liking what she's up to. But she decided, instead of to really shift her behavior, to go where it was allowed, to go where it was acceptable. It was acceptable to hurt these Black people. It was acceptable to talk down to these Black people. Why? Think about her behavior in context with everybody else she's engaged with. Why was her behavior okay in that room? I really hope people consider, like, when we drop our standards for what makes sense, we really are inviting in some bullshit. And I fear that, like, someone's gonna see all the positive commentary that Amanda's getting and forget that she literally is fighting with Samaria Rice. Like, my God. And again, I hope people go and look into the video I posted. I posted the video that Jubilee made. Please watch it, because without that video, it seems like people just hate on the girl. That's not true. It's not true. Not an acquired taste. I'm crying. Hear me out. I feel like Amanda is... because again, I want to hold that, like, when I first was like radicalized around Black Politico, I want to be candid about where I was coming from. Like, I was that token kid. Like, I was always at white people's house because my mom was like just not caring for us properly. And I have a white passing mom who is, you know, co-opting Blackness, operating as if she is a Black woman. And so with that being said, I decided, like, I'd actually really prefer not to be around you. Her behavior was one that, like, it's awkward to say this, but in retrospect, my mom took on this idea of what it meant to be a Black woman in this way that, in retrospect, really has me sitting with the idea of performance and what people think you're supposed to do or be when you're a Black woman, and how limiting that can really be for Black women, but also how other women, not Black women, take on certain ideas of what it means to be a Black woman. And so it's the way that growing up, like, people would tell me my mom's behavior was Black. They would say that to me, and I would just not be sure what they meant, but I didn't have the language to say anything else. And so growing up, I spent a lot of time around white people. I spent a lot of time around people that have more money than my family because I did not want to fucking be poor. And I'm saying that as someone who is still fucking poor, who will die poor. But I'm saying that as someone who was very young and very capitalist, very much did not want to be living in the circumstances I was living in. And so with that being said, like, when I became aware of Black Politico, it felt like, to me, I was finally gaining some sense of self, some sense of awareness, some sense of behavior and being that was mine. In retrospect, what I see now is that I knew I was not white. And the white people was letting me know all the time that being Black means being disrespected, being talked to crazy, having weird experiences. Again, growing up as a whole mixed person, I kept learning by how people treated me that what Blackness meant was to be degraded, to be degraded consistently. And so perhaps in ways I stuck around white people who didn't see me as willing to be degraded, who didn't see me as the bad one, as the one unworthy. Perhaps that's what was happening. That, like, I wasn't around these people who were being anti-Black overtly. They weren't saying to me anything anti-Black, but when someone did or someone made some sort of anti-Black gesture, I made sure to get away. However, because those things are not always said around us mixed people or even towards us, there were a lot of moments where it was obvious that the person that they were disgusted by was not me. And yet, I still felt like there's something wrong about just sitting here and not saying anything. Again, it's the ways that when you're outnumbered by white people, you'll have a lot of ideas around what could possibly happen, but will you do it? Maybe fucking not. So I'm going to also hold that there were times where I definitely didn't do a damn thing and I fucked around and I absolutely found out. With that also being said, it took me a long time to hold that white people were all white supremacists, whether or not they were willing to tap into that day, that moment. That had nothing to do with me or what I thought about them previously. That takes time to understand, especially when you're not around anyone breaking that fourth wall. Because unfortunately, for a lot of us mixed people, there are very rarely people around us that will make very large stances around white people, like sweeping statements around white people. There will absolutely always be an air of anti-Blackness always lurking. But when it comes to hearing about anti-white sentiment, it is absolutely gatekept from us because, in my humblest opinion, I believe we're supposed to operate as if everyone is equal until we make some really fucked up, we make some, how do I say this? We're supposed to operate as mixed people like this is the land of the free and everyone's equal until we experience enough anti-Blackness to either trigger us to seemingly become anti-white and pro-Black, or we are around so many white people being treated so well that we assimilate into whiteness and operate with those consequences forever. Again, these are things that not everyone is going to talk about or even think it's worth to say. But I'm going to say it because I want to give more context to where I'm coming from. And so I didn't grow up in a household with the same mother and father. I didn't grow up in a household with a Black mother or a Black father. I didn't grow up in a household where I was taught about white supremacy outside of school. And so again, when I'm being radicalized online, when I'm sitting with the understanding that Barack Obama wasn't some radical thing that happened in America, that like there was gaslighting going along with Barack Obama as the first black president, that there was gaslighting about what that would mean for black communities in America. Again, the ways that like finding out that like what I believed around this country was similar to figuring out that like Santa Claus isn't real. How many people are complicit in the lie, in the erasure, in the anti-blackness? Unfathomable numbers, unfathomable numbers. And with that being said, it's the way that the more you unlearn and the more you're holding on to anti-blackness as a reality, as a base, as a standard, it becomes a little bit more dangerous to speak. And so I want to hold that there's going to be some people who don't want to hear me say these things. That's fine. Again, I have the privilege to ignore these things, or had them, or had the privilege in ways to ignore this reality, because I was being rewarded for speaking up. I want to hold that as well. There were so many people who were so grateful for me talking and yelling and being caustic. There were a lot of ways I was communicating that were very disrespectful. And not only that, they weren't rooted in any practice of actual care, understanding, education. It was 100% fucking spectacle. And unfortunately for me, I didn't realize that before other people did, which is part of why I truly believe people were not interested in my content, because who wants to listen to someone yell at people all the time? Don't get me wrong. Some people still want me to yell, but I don't believe anyone ever wanted me to posture in the ways that I did, and yet I did. I used Black Politico to posture. And unfortunately, there were so many people who were thinking it was good. It was good content. And so again, I'm saying what I'm saying because Amanda's not making good content. She hasn't been. And I'm not going to say she can't, because I don't want to be limiting my sibling. I don't want to disconnect from her and make it seem like we're different people. We're not. Just like she was up there talking to people at different points in unlearning, decolonizing, so are we. Amanda's not where I'm at, and I'm not where she's at, but I've been there. And so I'm trying to offer that there's going to be moments where you see somebody where you used to be. I really hope that you give them a little bit of grace, but you also hold that, like, just the same ways that you know you couldn't stay there, that person can't stay there either. And so offering them the opportunity to shift, to reconsider. Those things have happened for Amanda. People have been asking her to apologize to Samaria Rice, which I feel like is insane. No one should have to ask anyone to fucking apologize to someone. That's not okay. Someone, like, you should know that it's time to apologize. And again, it's the way that even now, like, people are still trying to get that apology to this day. I'm gonna read the comments. My bad. I've been spinning on my phone. My bad. No, Marie, it's the way that if anybody brings up that Grammy party, if anybody brings up Issa, like she has like seemingly like a 24-hour glow right now, but I swear to God, like I don't think it's about to last, because so many people are not willing to play this game with her. Like, don't get me wrong, there's people being like, "Oh my God, Amanda, this is a great place for you," and it's like a great place for her is sitting amongst a bunch of Black people and just letting her yell at them. No. That's not good content at all. But again, who's going to say that? And I'm getting mad because, again, it shouldn't be, it shouldn't be on anybody Black to be doing this. Black people have things to do. Like, why the fuck is she on there doing this, wasting everybody's time? Again, it's the ways that she loves to talk about being real, but it's like, sweetie, you don't have a friend group, because there's no way in fucking hell you're trying to rebrand as an intellectual and this is where you went. Good God. What video that Julesy made so you can watch? You're late. You're never late, babe. You're always on flower time. You blooming when you gotta get there. When you gotta get there, you gonna get there. Julesy made a video called Amanda Seales Miss Unlikable. I just shared it to my channel, so if you go to my posts, you will see it posted up there. The video is amazing. Julesy really put her fucking foot in it, and I'm really grateful that she created this when she did, because I truly believe if this video goes viral, it will be an important video, in my opinion, just because it might actually get people to hold what Amanda's been doing and where she's at right now, how it's not changing, how she just found some people to bully that people think it's okay to bully. That's the only difference now. And you're not wrong. It is privilege. They were just dragging her the other day, but now, in next to a black Republican, she's looking beautiful. Yuck. No, man, that's what I'm. But it worked. It worked, Marie. What you're noticing is the spell is working. That was the whole point of this. She put them glasses on in that loud ass jacket. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to play her, but she really is dressed like Stephen Urkel, bitch. Like she really sitting up there like Stephen Urkel with the glasses and the loud ass jacket. And I'm just like, really, Amanda? Man. Like, wow. Mm-mm. Did I diminish her intellect? Did anybody wait, hold on. Someone saying that Amanda's not an intellectual is not diminishing her intellect. We're acknowledging that she is not a professor, a doctor of anything. And yet she was sitting up there as if she has the right opinion. I'm not necessarily saying that you have to go to college to have the right opinion. But for people to be saying she's educated, where's her accreditation? Where has she been educated to be educating others? I'd like to see that, because what I saw was spectacle. What I saw was no one learning anything. There wasn't time to learn. She's yelling at people, telling them to treat her like they're her children. At one point, she said, "Speak to me like I'm your mama." She is employing AAVE to make it seem like it's a family convo, but it's certainly not. It's certainly not. Like the way she's communicating up there, like they're friends, like they're in community, and they're absolutely not. But why would you know that? Again, I just want us to hold that this was just a spectacle. It was just for us to watch. It was just bread and games, bitch. Bread and games. Just keep that in mind. These bitches is throwing bread and games. I have other things to talk about, so if anybody else wants to talk about Amanda, feel free. I don't want to stick on her as a main topic because honestly, she's not a main topic. Like, I mean no shade when I say that, but she wants to be a main girl, and she really should be humble. In my humblest opinion, she should be humble. I need to get some water, obviously, but I think she needs to be humble. She's gone very far. Again, Julesy's video really breaks down how many accolades and successes she has. A lot of her comments about her time in the industry are speaking of people shitting on her. All I see is success. Many people will not bother to speak on her because she comes to the public with personal feuds. Instead of calling the people, she tells them to call her, but she has the problem. It's awkward, but I want to hold that, like, no one has to like us. I just want to put that out there really, really, just really strongly, that, like, I used to absolutely believe that, like, people that didn't like me and thought I needed to know about it, they were just so, like, there was just something so wrong about that. At this point, I'm going to hold that, like, some people don't like me and are compelled fucking game. Had I had an elder talk to me and be really, sit with me, I probably still wouldn't have fucking got it. But I spent a lot of time talking about my haters. I spent a lot of time talking about who don't like me. I really ignored a lot of people that loved me. I definitely did waste my time. I'm healed enough to say that I missed opportunities to connect around positivity because I was focused on the negativity. Absolutely. But when it comes down to Amanda, if you really look at it, she went from New York to LA. That does not happen for most people. That's not typical. And so I want people to just consider when she started, her name was Amanda Diva. She was also in Flowetry. There are a lot of layers to this story and her story. And so if we focus really, if we really zoom in enough, we can really see a lot of us mixed people being victims. If you zoom in really close, you can see some victimhood there. But if you zoom out, you might also notice that it didn't kill us. We're not gonna die. People not liking us isn't the end of the fucking world. And honestly, people not liking us is probably an important thing. You know? Like, I want us to just hold that, like, when people see black women, a lot of times, there's not a lot of, oh, you better like that person. This better work out. There is a huge amount of pressure on people to like us light skinned people, to accept us light skinned people, to the point where I remember on Reddit, our mixed race, oh my God, almost every fucking other post is a mixed person upset that they're not accepted by black people. And they'll say, I'm an alabaster, the inside of my skin is the color of the inside of an almond. Like, honestly, friends, like, most of us mixed people are unwell. We need support and guidance. It is not anyone black's fault or in anyone black's best interest to be centering or focus on any light-skinned people, for real, for real. With that being said, there are a lot of us mixed people who are calling ourselves the light-skinned black people. And I know it because I was one of them. Again, no one tells us in our household about delineation, about the one drop rule, other than to tell us we're black and to flatten black identity. And so with that being said, I'm trying to hold that, like, Amanda does not have a lot of information that she needs to navigate the world. She is unfortunately stuck in thinking that the way that she was raised is the right way. And I want us to just consider that there are so many of us who are mixed, who have Caribbean parents, parentage, ancestor, and we are in America, and we're being socialized to say we are black. That is a different experience than a lot of black people. So I want us to hold that, like, Amanda is really in need of support. I've said this before. I wish she had community that loved her and supported her and would speak to her about what she says. Because again, it's the ways that I remember people trying to intervene on me, saying certain things, being overtly outspoken, at times a bully, and I didn't care. I wanted them to leave me alone. I blocked them a lot of times because I didn't want to have to deal with my behavior. I didn't want to have to really sit with being wrong. And so with that being said, I'm saying all that I'm saying because I see Amanda not wanting to sit with how wrong she's been. And instead of focusing on that, she's pivoting hardcore into bullying black people who don't have the range. I just want y'all to think about what the point of this all was, because it's the way that she's getting high fives. For what? Layups? Easy layups? She's just getting a bunch of a bunch of people in the crowd just shouting, "Yay!" What happened though? Like, what did she really do? Again, it's the way that she was yelling at these folks to the point where there was no point that she really made personally. And it hurts because there are times where people will get the stage and they can do so many things. And it just felt like she was like, oh, I'm going to cuss these folk out. I'm going to make this a show. And the way she was asking some of the Republicans, are y'all acting? And I'm like, bitch, are you? Because there's no way that you're performing like this. Like, these people need book recommendations. like they don't need to hear you talk, Amanda. They need book recommendations. They need access to therapy. Like the amount of care and support these black folks needed. It was not Amanda yelling at them. Like, and again, it's the way Jubilee sets up these conversations for what really, and again, games. It's for games. It's to make people think they're going to see something. And again, I watch Olay and Friends, and I'm really excited for the Olay and Friends about this because I really think some people will actually, I'm really praying. that more than one person goes into the nuance of how fucked up this was. Because again, it's like I tried to watch it for real, and the whole time I'm just like, wait, like this is what it is? It's just Amanda sitting there just like talking down to people. Okay. But again, the way people wanted it, like I think that people should really maybe think about why they want to see mixed people talking down to people who don't have not even don't even have. It's like unlearning, decolonizing. It hurts. It hurts bad. And it's one part of decolonizing that I don't feel like we talk about enough, because everyone keeps being like, oh, you need to decolonize. You need to decolonize. And it's like, yeah, it's not like you just wake up and do it. It's like, I wish we could talk more about it, like, and it not be like this, but I think about how like Amanda does need to like really sit with like what the fuck she's up to, because again, it's the way that everyone that is talking about how she's operating is really trying their best to be kind. And it just makes me think about how like at some point, like when you make a lot of content around Black Politico, like people really do, they start to really wonder like, what are you doing? And I think that that's what this moment is for me with Amanda, because I know she got paid. I know she got paid. I really want someone to ask her for transparency on what she was paid. I would love that. I would love to find out what she was paid to do that. Because again, people are now going to see her as an outspoken Black woman. I really wonder where she goes next. And honestly, I didn't even have to wait too long. Where she went after Jubilee? Guess what was the second? Guess what the second stop was, bitch? Angela Yee's podcast. Of course. Listen, I love it. I love it in retrospect, because she's making it much easier for people to see like how grifty us light-skinned people can be, especially when like we have access to Black Politico and people think that we're doing something by simply having the access to hear these thoughts and listen to candor and also be able to offer it. It's the way that there are so many Black folks that say things, and next thing you know, they're evicted. Next thing you know, they have no job. And again, it's not because they said it wrong. It's because they didn't have the scaffolding. They didn't have the support system. They didn't have the privilege to weather the storm of being honest. And so it's the way that like in Jules's video, she acknowledges like us being lighter skinned is why we get to be bold. Our boldness is not because it's not inherent. People are actively not giving us consequences. Yes, Marie. Yes, they launched her as an authority on Blackness, but not only on Blackness, they launched her as an authority on Black Americanness. And again, her mother's from Grenada. It seems like she's much closer with her mother. And again, I'm not trying to talk shit about Caribbeans. Y'all know I'm half Jamaican. I'm not really trying to do too much. When I said I don't give a fuck about Jamaica in my last video, I just meant like I'm not sitting over here trying to fuck with Jamaican folk. I'm not over here looking at the island trying to figure out what's going on. I'm not doing anything of the sort, because as far as I'm concerned, let me go to the island and find the rest of my siblings, bitch. Like honestly, like that's why I'm not focused over there, to be super honest with you. Is like every time I meet someone with my same last name, it just feels like they aspire for my dad. And so honestly, I don't even feel like I could even go up over there without somebody trying to run back to my family. So again, I'm not trying to do too much on my Caribbean siblings. I'm just more so saying that like she's not a Black American, and that's okay. But also we have to pay attention to like where she came from, where she's been. Her lens is absolutely important, but it's important in this way where she may not understand how much she is still operating in the colonizer's way of making people feel like they're dumb so that you can feel smart. And it's unfortunate, but I think about the way she uses the word smart. I think about the way someone came in here and was saying that like her intellect isn't very important to be not diminishing her intellect. And it's just very fascinating because again, The concept of smart is fake. The concept of being well learned is fake. And I know some people don't want to hear that. But there are layers to learning. And unfortunately, just like when I was saying, she's not a doctor. So why is she educating any black person on anything? I wasn't trying to, in that moment, invoke hierarchy in education, but that doesn't matter, does it? Because that's what I did, right? And so, with that being said, she may really think that everyone has their own intellectual intelligence, but she spends a lot of her time talking about being smart. She spends a lot of her time talking about being really educated. Even Smart, Funny, and Black, her tour, she wanted people to know, like, those are the things that are important to her that you know about her. She's intelligent, she is a comedian, and she is black. Those are three identifiers she feels comfortable holding. And with that being said, she has been called out by several creators about being a colorist. And instead of engaging them in good faith, she actually showed more good faith to those people on Jubilee. Even I Heart Erica, if anybody's a fan of Erica Hart, they have beef. And low key, I don't know how the fuck you have beef with a yogi. I don't know how you have beef with a yogi. Like, they really just be saying their piece and go. Like, I've never seen Erica Hart in a beef, and I'm not saying that Erica's above being in a beef. What I'm trying to offer, though, is like, what beef could you have? And again, if you look into it, she was upset. Amanda was upset about colorism. Amanda has came at a couple deep dark skinned people and brown skinned people about colorism. And really, in her mind, colorism was people making a mention about light skin privilege, people being candid about light skinned people causing harm. That was part of her beef with Erica Hart. And so I want to hold that. I'm not just talking about her to talk about her. She has done things and refuses to communicate, but had time to go on Jubilee and sit amongst unknowns and can't even consider how wild that looks to all the black women she has torn down. It just felt like, to me, Amanda wanted an easy win. She wanted to be likable again. She wanted y'all to come back to her tour. She wanted y'all to forget that she's colorist and that she thinks, she thinks being lighter skinned is a privilege that she didn't earn, and so therefore shut up. Marie, that part, like, again, I be saying shit confidently as fuck. I be wrong as hell. I watch some of my videos back and I'm like, damn, bitch, you totally fucked up. And again, I'm not saying anyone has to check me, but the amount of people that don't even bother to say I said something wrong or made a mistake, it has shown me that, like, there's a huge threshold for me. And so there are so many moments that I take a lot of time to say sorry about things or bring up some mistake, because I truly believe, from what I've read, that is a part of ego death that has nothing to do with drugs. I know I talk about doing drugs a lot, but I think it's important to mention that saying, I'm sorry, I need help, please forgive me, I love you, those words uttered to people, those words uttered to your fucking self can actually break your ego and allow you to take in new information, to believe in new outcomes, to hold that it's not all over, that maybe it's actually just the fucking beginning. And so I'm hoping that in the desire to say what I'm saying about Amanda, y'all hold that, like, Amanda can't always say sorry. It might not be received how she may want it to be, but even for the rest of you, it's never too late to apologize. It's never too late to tell someone, I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, I need your help. Those words really can change a relationship. Sometimes we've told people, I need your help, and they didn't give a fuck. And so that made us maybe react in a way that was so ego filled, because we felt like our desire to connect, to be vulnerable, was not being respected or even heard. I'm hoping that we remember we don't gotta fight Amanda, that she's already fighting herself. Like, she's already beating her own ass, trying to prove how smart she is all the fucking time. Unfortunately, not seeing that that's part of anti-blackness as well. It's not on anybody black to be thinking about how smart they're coming across, and yet that is part of white supremacy, is diminishing who black people see themselves as. And so Amanda really has a lot of things going on. Clearly, if we're listening to how she speaks, we can hear it. If we pay attention to how quickly she gets to anger when someone is not doing what she says, we can hold that she has a bit of controlling behavior at times that might make her feel safer. Again, I'm not trying to bash the girl because I think that she's the worst person. That's crazy. I don't think that. I think it's more that, like, she has issues with people that have absolutely attempted to educate her, and she's not listening. But people will see her talking down to black people and misappraise it as education, and it's not. And so I'm really hoping people hold that I'm not just coming here to talk shit about the girl. Absolutely not. I'm trying to hold space for the ways that I've been operating in similar fashions, and also the ways that people don't really care about what us lighter skinned mixed people say, unless it's the wrong opinion for us to have. And I'm hoping that people can hear the nuance in that. With that being said, I am going to take a break and get some fucking tea, because I know I sound like I swallowed a cup of DMX, bitch. I know I sound like Ja Rule. But when I come back, I'm hoping we can have some conversations about a couple other things, because there's so many things on the docket today. There's a lot of things going on, and I'm hoping we can chat. I feel like let's do like an hour siesta so people can digest this and come back and share their thoughts if they want to. I also wanted to say on Sundays, I had the idea, along with Trilly and some other folks here, to meet up and do a Sunday dinner. And I'm not sure how many people are feeling interested in doing something like that, but so far, the Sunday dinners have been kind of like a hit or miss. And I have to hold that Sunday is a precious day for a lot of people because they work throughout the week. And so I'm trying to figure out, like, if a Tuesday and a Thursday night meet would be better than a Sunday dinner. I'm hoping some people can reach out and let me know, but I do want people to have a third space where they can just know for sure there's going to be some socializing where they'll get to speak and share what they have to say. Because again, some of us may go some days without speaking to people. We may go some days without having a real deep, meaningful conversation, or even a convo that's really silly and goofy. Sometimes we just talk about what we cooked that week. Sometimes we talk about philosophy. Sometimes we talk about movies. Sometimes we watch them. I just wanted to work with people to create a space online where we can talk and connect. I also wanted to be candid that the last time there was a Discord, I definitely had a moment where I felt like there wasn't a consistent communication happening, and so I absolutely deleted it. And I know some people may have thought that I was being like a brat, or maybe even just being a little bit of an energy vampire, and I probably fucking was. Like, I'm not even about to like make it seem like that wasn't the case. I think it was more that I had this idea that if I make the Discord, people will come. And I forgot that, like, you know, people have lives, but also that, like, if you want people to engage, you actually have to offer them something to engage with. And so those are things I didn't realize in the past. And so moving forward, I'm trying to figure out like a game night, trying to figure out a movie night. Again, I know that some of y'all have the ability to leave your house and go out and have fun. I love that. Some of us may need a digital third option now that third spaces are becoming a little bit more expensive and scary. Also, there's a rise in COVID. If you can mask up, please do. If you can't, reach out. I got some mask referrals and some links, so please let me know. But yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna be back in about an hour just to again talk some more shit. But I wanted to get this Amanda Seales piece out the way because I have been talking a lot online about this in digital spaces, on Twitter, on Instagram, and I just wanted to have like a cohesive piece to share if anybody wanted to know more. So anyways, I love y'all. Thank you for listening to me. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.